Hello students, welcome again in the first chapter of chemistry, class 11, CBC and RBC. And the title of the chapter is some basic concepts of chemistry. Students, I already told you that this chapter is the most important chapter to understand the other chapters of the chemistry. Students, in this series we have discussed about the definition of chemistry, definition of matter and the physical nature of matter. In this class, we will discuss the different physical states of matter, and that is known as physical classification of matter. Students, we know that every matter is composed of tiny constant particles, and these tiny constant particles are so small beyond our imagination, and that is called particulate nature of matter. The matter we see around us are actually aggregates of these tiny constant particles. Students, the constant particles of matter have certain characteristics which determines the arrangement of the constant particle in the matter and the different physical states. And these properties are, number one is the interparticle space. What is interparticle space? The space between the particles of matter are known as interparticle space. And the force of attraction which holds the particles of matter together in the matter is known as interparticle force of attraction. The particles of matter have certain amount of kinetic energy, and that is responsible for their motion. This is known as particle motion. So on the basis of these properties and the arrangement of constant particles, matter can be classified into three categories: solid, liquid and gases. To understand these physical states, we are taking an example of ice, water and water vapor. Students, these three states, ice, water and water vapor, are chemically same, since they are composed of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. The constant particles of each these states contains two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. In the same way here and in the same way here. But you can see that the arrangement of the constant particles are different. In this case, you can see that constant particles are closely packed. They have very least interparticle space. They are highly closed and strongest interparticle force of attraction. Since they have very least space, so they are incompressible in nature. They are rigid. They cannot change their shape. They have definite shape and definite volume. The particles have restricted motion. They can not come out from their position. They can move here and there around their mean position, but cannot leave their positions. In the case of water, you can see that the constant particles are loosely packed. They have somewhat interparticle space greater than the solid state. They have interparticle force of attraction lesser than solid. And since interparticle force of attraction is lesser, so that they can move much greater than in the solid condition. You know that ice cannot flow, but water can flow. So they show the property of fluidity. They are not rigid. They can change their shape. So they have no definite shape, but they have definite volume. In the case of gases, you can see that the particles are very far apart. The constant particles are completely free to each other. They have very least interparticle forces of attraction and largest or highest interparticle space and highest amount of kinetic energy. So they show highest particle motion. They have no fixed shape, no fixed volume, their boundaries are not fixed. Their space is equal to the volume of that container in which they are held. So since the interparticle space is highest, so they are highly compressible. So you can see that these are the different states of matter. The only difference is the arrangement of the constituent particles. You can compare these three conditions with your practical situation. When you are in the school and you are in the class and teacher is present, then you are sitting at your position, your chair. You cannot move here and there. This condition is the solid condition. When the recess is there and you are free to move here and there, this condition is liquid. But you are rested, you cannot leave the school. Condition is a liquid condition. When the school is over, then you are gone, you go to the gaseous state. It means you are free to go here and there. So these three situations are showing to the physical states of the matter. Students, these states of matter can be interconverted. We know very well, when we place water which is liquid in the fridge, it becomes solidified to convert into ice. That is conversion of a liquid into solid. When we take out the ice, then again this ice will melt down, convert into liquid. That is called melting. In this case, the solid is converted into liquid. In the same way, when we boil that water, it will convert into vapors. This is the gaseous state. It means the liquid is converted into gas. And if we cool down these vapors, then again this gas is converted into liquid. So let's see interconversion of the three states of matter. Students, this is the interconversion of the three states of matter. What is the meaning of interconversion of the three states of matter? Conversion of the different physical states of matter into each other. Like solid into liquid, liquid into gas, and gas into again liquid, liquid to solid. That is called interconversion of the states of matter. So in this diagram, you can see that how this interconversion take place. The solids in which the particles are closely packed, when heated, they will convert into liquid, where interparticle force of attraction will break down and they become free and they start to flow, and this condition is called liquid. The process of converting the solid into liquid is known as melting or fusion. The process of converting a solid into liquid is called melting or fusion, and the temperature at which a solid starts to melt down, that is called melting point. The conversion of the liquid again to solid, that process is known as freezing or solidification. The temperature at which a liquid converts into solid, that is called its freezing point. For example, the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius, and the melting point of ice is also 0 degrees Celsius. The melting point and the freezing point always same for a particular type of matter. When a liquid converts into gases, this process is known as boiling or also called as vaporization. And the temperature at which a liquid converts into vapor, that is called boiling point. The boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. At 100 degrees Celsius, water converts into start convert to into vapors, and the reverse process conversion of a gaseous state into the liquid state, that is called condensation or liquefaction. Some materials convert directly into gases or gases directly to solid. They not convert into liquid. They directly convert into gases or gases to solid. This process is called sublimation. For example, camphor, solid carbon dioxide, iodine, ammonium chloride. These are the sublimable substances. They do not melt. They are solid in condition. They do not melt when they are heated. They directly convert into vapor state. And this process is called sublimation. And the whole process is called interconversion of the three states of matter. Student, the physical state of any substance is always considered that state at which it exists at room temperature, at ordinary temperature. For example, the ordinary physical state, the general physical state of water is liquid. At room temperature, it always exists in the liquid state. But when we decrease the temperature or increase the temperature, then they convert into liquid, ice condition or the vapor condition. So it depends on the temperature and the pressure that the matter exists in which state of physical, which physical state. So student, I hope that you have understood the physical classification of matter. You have understood about the solid, liquid and gas, and what are the differences between the solid, liquid and gas. Why some substances are called solid, some are known as liquid and some are known as gases. In the next class, we will discuss the chemical classification of matter, which will be based on the chemical composition of these constituent particles. We will see that which type of atoms are constituting these particles and how they will classify. Till then, bye bye, thank you.